Who would have thought that after an incredible streak of 5 consecutive podiums, including 2 victories, Mercedes would face such a turnaround, right? That's right, my friends. It seems like the Belgian GP has shaken things up for the German team. Just imagine, the team that was flying high with Lewis Hamilton finally finding his rhythm suddenly finds itself in a tough spot in Spa. But hold on, it's not the end of the world. What happened to those updates that promised so much? Why on earth did Mercedes decide to revert to the old car setup? And what is Lewis thinking about all this? In this video, we're going to unravel the mysteries behind Mercedes' struggles and understand what went wrong with the new parts. Will Mercedes secure their 6th consecutive podium, or are we about to see the end of this incredible streak? Stay tuned until the end because we have a lot to discuss. Don't forget to subscribe and let's dive in. Just imagine, the team arrives confident, bringing a package of updates that promise to give the W15 a boost. But then, things start going wrong from the first free practice. The car was suffering from severe bouncing. Remember last year? Well, it's back with a vengeance. And it doesn't stop there. Mercedes was losing almost a whole second on the straights. Can you believe it? In Spa, of all places, where speed is everything. Things got so complicated that the team made a drastic decision: remove all the updates and revert to the old car setup. It's like they took 1 step forward and 3 steps back. But was it the right decision? Speaking of these updates, let's take a look at what Mercedes brought to Spa. They arrived with a new floor, changes to the front and rear wings, and even modifications to the halo, all designed to increase downforce and improve performance in Spa's fast corners. But it backfired. The new parts caused a tremendous imbalance in the car. It was as if the W15 had turned into a completely different car. And not in a good way, folks. The most curious part is that the team didn't even have time to fully understand what was happening. With the forecast of rain for qualifying, they preferred not to take any risks and reverted to the familiar setup. It's that old saying, better a bird in the hand than 2 in the bush, right? And the one who felt this blow the most was our 7-time champion, Lewis Hamilton. Just imagine, the guy was on an incredible streak, won at Silverstone, and was tasting victory again. Then he arrives at Spa. In Lewis's own words, "It was a really bad day. I don't even know what to say." He mentioned that the car felt completely different compared to the last races, and he finished the second free practice in 10th, more than a second behind Lando Norris. The most concerning part is that Hamilton said there were a bunch of balance issues with the car. For a driver of his caliber to say that, things are really bad. But all is not lost. Lewis even joked that if it rains during qualifying, it would be fantastic, because the car should perform better in the wet than in the dry. Will Hamilton pull off another one of his magical performances in the rain? Now let's talk about what really matters. What to expect for the race. First, there's that unpredictable factor of Spa, the rain. If the weather turns, my friends, the game could change completely. Lewis has already said he's hoping for rain, and we know how much of a beast he is on a wet track. But is that enough to compensate for the problems they're having with the car? And it's not just Lewis who does well in the rain. Verstappen is also known for his impressive performances in wet conditions. Speaking of Max, remember he's starting from the back. This could open up a big opportunity for Mercedes to try for that 6th consecutive podium, but for that to happen, they'll have to overcome not just Red Bull, but also the flying McLaren. And there's more. The Mercedes team mentioned that the undercut is really powerful at Spa this year. This means pit stop strategy could make all the difference in the race. Who knows? Maybe that's where they can make up the lost ground. Just imagine, a safety car at the right moment, a well-executed pit stop, we could see quite a turnaround. Another point to consider is tire wear. Spa is a demanding track, and with cooler temperatures forecasted, tire management could be crucial. Will we see someone risk a one-stop strategy? And let's not forget about the DRS factor. With powerful activation zones at Spa, overtaking could be frequent. This could benefit drivers who are good at managing ERS throughout the lap. In the end, we're looking at a weekend full of uncertainties. Mercedes could either return to the top or have their worst performance in weeks. McLaren could confirm their excellent form or find that their race pace isn't as strong as their qualifying pace. And Red Bull? Well, you can never rule out a surprise from them. That's why we love F1, right? We never know what to expect. Spa always gives us thrilling races, and I'm sure this year will be no different. But wait, if Mercedes is struggling this much, who's benefiting from all this? Well, folks, it seems like McLaren has decided to show up again. Remember how they've been improving in the last few races? Well, they arrived at Spa in full force. Lando Norris led the second free practice, leaving everyone behind. And it wasn't by a small margin either. The gap to Lewis was over 1.2 seconds. That's a lot, folks. Oscar Piastri is also showing strong pace, indicating that the McLaren car is really competitive at Spa. And what about Red Bull? Even with Max starting from the back due to component changes, they're still showing strong pace. The Mercedes team even mentioned that in the long runs, Max was posting times similar to theirs. And let's not forget Ferrari, right? They're kind of in limbo between Mercedes and McLaren in terms of pace. Do they have an ace up their sleeve? In the end, what we're seeing is an interesting mix. We have McLaren surprising everyone, Red Bull maintaining consistency, Ferrari as a wild card, and Mercedes, well, trying to find their footing. It's a scenario that promises a lot of excitement for the race. What do you all think? Can Mercedes recover in time for the race? Or are we about to see the end of their incredible streak of podiums? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Well, folks, we've reached the end of this intense analysis of Mercedes' situation at the Belgian GP and the entire scenario shaping up for this weekend. And what a scenario, huh? Who would have thought that after such a good streak, Mercedes would face such a challenge, while we see the rise of McLaren and the constant threat of Red Bull? But you know what's most incredible about Formula One? It's precisely the ability of teams to bounce back. Mercedes has proven time and time again that they know how to overcome adversity. Remember the start of last season? They were also in a rough patch and managed to recover. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell aren't the type to give up easily. And the Mercedes engineering team? They're top-notch. They might be struggling now, but I have no doubt they're racking their brains behind the scenes to solve these problems. And that's where the beauty of the sport lies, my friends. We never know what's going to happen. Maybe tomorrow Mercedes will come up with a magic solution and surprise everyone. Or maybe they really will have a tough weekend ahead. What I know is that, whatever the outcome, we're in for an exciting GP. Will McLaren maintain this strong pace and secure another podium? Will Max manage to cut through the field from the back and pull off another of his recovery drives? Will Ferrari surprise us with some bold strategy? And what about Mercedes? Will they secure another podium, or will the streak be broken? There's only one way to find out, folks. Watching the race. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this analysis and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news from the world of Formula One. See you next time, folks.